Ed, what are we going to talk about today?
Cool. Right, so in the last video, I hope you've seen it, we talked about the 5 levels of business ownership. And that's created a lot of debate out in the karting community. So I think a lot of people recognised elements of themselves. There's another bit that's going to really help today. I'm not promising you a comfortable ride, but it's going to be hugely valuable. We're going to talk about the 3 pillars of business success.
Cool. Sounds like an interesting topic.
It sure is.
G'day, I'm Simo, that's Ed, and you're watching the Fastline Track Growth Show, where we talk all things karting and business.
We sure do.
So, the 3 pillars of business success. I mean, this is pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share with you, I've delivered a talk to Aston Business School, Aston University in Birmingham, England, top 100 MBA schools globally, I believe. And I talked through some of this stuff, and as a result, they went, that's great, can you keep talking to us? So some really switched on people in business are loving this stuff, and I'm going to share it with the go-kart community. So it's really, really cool stuff today. It's also a little bit painful.
Yeah.
But then the best stuff can be in business when you get aware of stuff. You can certainly make the biggest leaps forward in business from those points of view. So there's 3 pillars that we're going to have a look at. I suspect human nature, as you're listening to these, you'll nod along and go, I'm already doing that. So I've already preempted it. So what we're going to do is, not only are we going to talk through the 3 pillars, I'm then going to describe how you know which pillar isn't quite working for you. If you're sitting there nodding along in the first half of this video, you're certainly not going to be in the second half of the video.
Gosh. So, the first pillar
Yeah.
is vision.
It absolutely is. You've got to have absolute crystal clear clarity. Not easy to say. You've got to have absolutely clear, crystal clear clarity on where your business is going, what the vision is, what it's going to look like when it's done. Most people will be sitting there going, yeah, I know what that is. Great. So while you're sat here listening to the video, just quickly recite to yourself in a sentence what your vision is. Because for most business owners, it does go a bit like this. And they go, oh my word. And it's part of that vision, mission, culture sort of document that nobody ever completes. But it's really hugely valuable.
I mean, we've got one here.
Yeah.
It's complete.
Yeah, it is.
But hey, I got to tick myself off because I don't reinforce it with the staff regularly. Could everyone in the building recite our vision? No.
Nope.
No. And that's down to me. That's my fault because I haven't. I haven't reinforced it enough. I haven't kept repeating it. They could tell you. Most of them could tell you at least half the values. I think we reinforce the values more than we probably do the mission and the vision.
Yeah, and I can understand that. So we're talking vision. Let's just briefly explain this. I think it might be in another video, but the difference between a vision and a mission and the culture statement, just so you know, really clear about what we're talking about here. Your vision is the strategy, the stuff that you're doing year to year. The 3-year plan, where it's going to end up, the 10-year vision of where it's going to end up. Your mission is your day-to-day, well, not quite day-to-day, but it's probably week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter stuff that your staff can go, this is what I've got to do over the next 90 days, and this is how it breaks down. And then the culture bit is how do we do things around here?
Yeah.
So, talking about vision today, and the difficulty is that vision is what keeps everything aligned, because you're going to have good days in your business. Hopefully you got more than the bad. There are going to be bad times in business, right? What you need is, something that just guides your staff to go, well, this is where we're heading, so that they've got something they can realign and they know what they're all about, and they can share with the customer and understand. Anybody asks about the business, they can get an idea about what you really stand for. And also, it stops them from running off and doing really weird things. Cause they do.
They
do. I mean, like, the best in the world, they do some of the most bizarre things. I mean, we're all like, this is explained to me today by a very good friend of mine, Steve Blompier. He's a very interesting character, and we had a chat this week. And he said, we're all wonderful, totally dysfunctional beings trying to get along together. And you don't really see it much more than in business often, where you're all going along doing something. You think they understand what the remit is. And you turn around, and usually after the event, you turn around and find out what they've done with the best will in the world most of the time. And go, what were you thinking?
I mean, you know, it never amazes me. You get a new salesman in here, and every now and then, you know, they were worked in a different industry. Like one we had recently was, your blue roll's quite a really good price. Why don't you sell it to garages?
Yeah.
It's like, where do garages feature in my vision?
Yeah.
It's sort of like, we want to be the preeminent supplier to the leisure industry.
Yeah.
A global brand that customers know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
Where do garages fit into the leisure industry? I don't know.
Now, he was new to the business, wasn't he, when he said that? So you can forgive him.
Yeah.
So what I'd call that is absolutely right thinking, because he's thinking about growth, and he's in the sales team, so that's double tick, because that's his role. But just that, maybe he hasn't understood it. Maybe it needs to be revisited. Maybe we didn't tell him enough. Maybe we didn't check understanding. So, but it's our role to really make sure that they understand that, so they don't go, we can sell this to garages.
Yeah.
It'd be more interesting if he'd have come up and said, I think we should have a separate division selling to garages. Because that would then demonstrate understanding of the vision. But that's down to the business. As the business owner, everything.
Go reinforce it.
It all stops at your doorstep. It's all down to you.
So, got vision. So, your vision is like your war plan.
Yeah.
Your mission statement is like your battle plan. How are you going to fight the battle? And then, and the strategies to fight the battle, right? And then down below you got your cultural values, and that's how you fight. It's, you know, how you behave.
Absolutely. That's right.
That's cool. So the next one.
That's the one pillar, and I'd start with that, by the way. These we haven't just picked 3 out and just randomly chose. This is the order to do them in.
Well, no, absolutely. You've got to have that clarity of vision of where you're going, what it's going to look like, and you know, my vision. I know the sort of size of building we're going to be in, the number of staff we're going to have, what it's going to look like internally, and to that extent.
And hopefully how we're perceived by customers.
Yeah.
Because they're all important. So we've got the vision first. Next thing we get into velocity. You know I like alliterative things, so just to let you know, the third one, when we get to it, guess what letter it's going to start with. But we've got...
V for victory?
I hope so. We got vision, then we got velocity. So velocity now is the speed of the business. Right? It's your ability to generate revenue and profit. We've spent a year on some really good videos, some not so good. No, we've got some really good stuff going on over the last year, all around sales and marketing. Let into a little secret, most business owners, when they come to speak to me about business growth, they go, I just need more sales. I'm going, no, you don't. You might do. I mean, if you're a startup, you definitely do. If you're in a cash flow situation, you might. You've got to speed up, but also it's not just about your sales, but you do need to have the ability to be able to turn it on and off like a tap, right? So you can then choose, are you rhythmically acquiring business? So if you're in steady state and hopefully slightly steady state of growth, that's really, really cool. I mean, it genuinely is, if you understand the power of compounding. If you do a 10 or 15% like compound of growth in a year and do that over 5 years, you do the maths on your figures, right? That is like easily doubling it within about 3.5 years. I mean, it's massive growth. But do you have that ability to either get the business at the rate that you're looking for, or the ability to turn on and off like a tap? The speed that all the business comes through to you, and manage it when it does come flowing in. Because we often forget about delivery as business owners. It's like that. We'll just go and get some more stuff. The staff will sort it out.
Yeah.
Had to be the most hated boss in the world.
Here, you turn on the sales, and then if you don't look at the staff in the warehouse starts becoming the roadblock.
Yeah.
And the stuff can't get out the door quick enough.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it is important to have that infrastructure there too.
But I mean, that is simply can be space as well in the warehouse.
Yeah.
You know, we can get hold of more, but it's not infinite. Well, it is eventually, but not in the time scale we can get hold of it.
From a cart track's point of view, it could be like get more sales, yeah, but I haven't got enough carts on the track to fulfil the rides.
Well,
I've got the guys in the mechanics bay, you know, stocked up and repairing carts quickly enough. Have we got enough marshals to run safely and efficiently?
And on the other side of that, if you're a business owner, you should have complete control of your business, right? So you should be able to determine a few bits and pieces on where it's heading. So let's just say you've got an unexpected bill comes in and you need to go and generate 10,000 profit, whether that's dollars, pounds, rand, whatever country you're in. Can you hand on heart while you listen to this know how to generate an additional £10,000 worth of profit within 30 to 60 days? Right, now that's velocity. If you've got velocity nailed down, you know immediately what you can do, deploy and work to go and make that happen. And what has to happen operationally to make sure the delivery is made as well. So that's your vision and your velocity, and anything that's happening then is working in line with that vision. So your staff, while they get really busy, aren't thinking, I know, I'm going to invent another way to go and do this. We're laughing because like we've been in business for a good couple of decades, both of us, and like we just know the pain. Like you can laugh after, but you don't laugh at the time, do you?
No.
It's just weird, but so you know, controlled velocity. Once you've got vision and velocity, blimey, you feel so much better about your business. Right, just those two alone will make you feel like you've got something special going on, and your staff will probably feel it as well. You know, you get those two sorted, you're away, which is why a lot of people forget about the third pillar. Because they either don't know or know, but don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, velocity at the time of recording, post-pandemic, that is really difficult because we have supply chain issues.
Yeah.
We have staffing issues. So, you know, you may well be able to ramp up the sales.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're selling widgets, can you get those widgets?
Well, that's it.
And if you've increased the sales so much that you need an extra person to help you get those widgets out the door, can you get that person?
And also, I don't think anybody's escaped the pandemic mentally in the same place they were when they went in.
No.
And I think, and it doesn't matter if you're the business owner, or it doesn't matter if you're the person that turns up part-time and helps clean the building at the go-kart track, you know, everybody's struggling with it. So that velocity, it's not just the ability to generate the sales and get it delivered, it's like, well, what's happening mentally to your staff as well.
That's a whole nother video.
I wonder if we should do a mindset video, actually. If you want to have a mindset video, just email us, and if you're up for that, and we just get even a couple of people. We had quite a lot of emails on that last video, but this, if you want to do mindset, we can go and dive in there a little bit.
The third and final pillar, does it start with a V?
How did you know that?
I've got the cheat sheet.
The third pillar is value. The long-term value of your business. Right, so it's an easy one to miss out because, like I say, vision and velocity when it's working well, you know, you can turn on and off the business and it's all heading in the right direction. You think, cool, I've cracked business. Right, and then at some point, hopefully, you're thinking, I'm going to sell this. And you go, great. And then what happens is somebody turns up to value it. Don't speak to your accountant. Just upset all the accountants.
Yeah.
Speak to them, but don't ask them first because they'll value it in a really different way to most buyers. There you go, I've said it. I'm out on record. Speak to them, but after. But what will happen is somebody will turn up and they'll say, can I come and buy this? Or you'll think, you know, screw this, I'm going to go and sell up now. I've done my 50 years and I want to go and get a return on this. And you'll go, I've got a fantastic business. They go, really, tell me about it. Well, this is what we are. Here's the vision. And this is how we turn on and off business. And they'll be getting really excited now. And they go, fantastic. And then I can just, I'll buy it off you and then I'll step in tomorrow and it will just run. You go, oh, hang on a minute, there's all this other stuff that you need to know. Great, and how do I do that? Well, I'll stay with you for a couple of weeks. Right? So your business has just gone from being worth a heck of a lot of money
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the vision and velocity is there, to very little money because they're sitting there going, I can't run that. I'll tell you what we'll do. You hang around for 3 years. You're like, no. I was ready to retire now, or I want the money now, or whatever it is. It's like that. The value of your business is just diminished. Now that's one prime example, but equally, if you're looking to refinance and do bits and pieces, if you've got the 3 pillars set up correctly, particularly around value, the bank will suddenly get more interested because you've got a true asset. Without that value, you haven't got a true asset, as I call it.
So you value things like your processes and procedures. Are they well documented?
Yeah.
And this is the sort of process we're going through here. And I say to the people who I get to write processes, can I bring my 10-year-old son in and give him that process and he can do it?
He's got a fair chance he'll make it work. Yeah.
You know?
And people think, oh, it's too simple, or, well, we're a professional company, or, crikey, park that ego. Get it so it's step by step. Ideally, photographs. It's this screen on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what the door looks like. I helped write one of the warehouse procedures. We did a review on it, and they were a bit shocked when I was going, well, which aisle is the computer down? They go, it's the computer down in the warehouse. I don't know. I've just landed from another planet, and they've probably agreed on that point. I've just landed, and I don't know. I don't even know where your warehouse is. So, and they go, no, you want a photograph of the warehouse door? I went, that's not a bad thing to put in there. Here's the door you walk in. Here's the aisle you go down. Here's the computer. Don't underestimate the value of something that simple. And if you presented that to a potential buyer and they said, how are we going to take over tomorrow? And we need you around for 3 years, you won't. Would you like to pick a procedure? Open it up and go, here you go. Why don't you just take that and wander around my company and then come back and then let me know whether or not you think you could have done it yourself. That was brilliant. Fantastic. You don't need me around. I'll hang around for a couple of weeks now, but we'll be drinking mojitos and going fishing while we're letting the thing run itself.
So, I mean, it's really important, and it does have to be that dumbed down. I mean, we had a process where you download customer spend and then rank it. About highest to lowest spends. And I gave it to one of my staff that is not very good with computers, and they were able to execute it. I made one mistake, which was my mistake because I didn't include it in the process.
I love that. They made one mistake, which was my mistake.
Well, it wasn't because I forgot to put that simple thing.
I love that sentence. They made one mistake, which was mine. Everybody around me today, Simo, has made 100 mistakes, which were mine. But no. But it's good. I mean, I love this because Simo's taking responsibility straight away. But yeah, you'll uncover it. I mean, cracky. I get really passionate about this stuff, as you probably can tell. But these 3 pillars are they're such a foundation stone for getting stuff sorted in business.
Oh, I mean, you know, they've all. It's interesting how you pulled all these together. We talked about the 5 levels, and you know now we're talking about the 3 pillars.
Yep.
It's like all of this stuff is out there, and like it's not new, but pulling it together into this framework
is absolutely new.
Is new, and it makes so much more sense, especially in the next video.
Yes.
Where we're going to talk to you about how you know
which bits are missing.
From the 3 pillars.
Now, it's entirely possible, though, that there's not a pillar that's missing. So remember we talked about the 5 levels last time. You might have business owner quality vision statements. And if you don't know what that is, you've got to have a look at it in the last video. But you might be an overwhelm over your value. Right? Now, you might already have an inkling, but we're going to share with you how you will sit down and go, right, so I know there's a problem somewhere between vision and velocity. Or I know there's a problem somewhere between my velocity and my values. We'll tell you how to decode this now for your business. So it promises to be a painful one.
Absolutely. All right then. Well, it's goodbye from me.
Cheerio from me.
And we'll see you next week.